As men, we don't like to ask. We don't like to ask for directions. We don't like to ask for help when we need it most. It makes us look weak. As men, we need to learn how to ask. Welcome back to the Uncharted Podcast. It's Yarrow here, and I'm going to try to release a video a week, on different kind of topics. I like to share something that is going on through my life or someone else's life or something I've learned or grew through. So sometimes these topics are something I kind of grow through for a week or two before I share it. Sometimes it's just something that is shorter or longer. So I'm not really sure where we're going to go week to week, but today I want to talk to you about plums. Like, what plums? I'll tell you why. Because let me give you a backstory on plums. So my neighbor used to have this very nice plum tree. And I don't know about you, but I like plums. My family likes plums. My kids love plums. They're good for you. Eat them. And we also like to make plum jam. Now, you might think gross, but I'm telling you, plum jam is where it's at. And it's a great alternative to, your strawberry, raspberry, and your high sugar jams, especially if you make it yourself. So I'm, blessed to have people in my life who like it as well. And I'm not the one that makes it, of course. It's either my wife or my mother-in-law. And let's talk about plums here for a second. So my neighbor has this plum tree, or had this plum tree. Yes, had. He cut all the branches down. Well, the new guy who bought the house cut all the branches down, and there's no more plums there. I used to be able to collect them because the guy didn't really eat them. Well, now I can't even collect them because there's no plums. He saw no value in it, so he cut it down. However, I did find another tree like a street away from us, and I'm like, ooh, that's a nice one. Like it's a giant one. Like you have to have a ladder in order to get to real good juicy ones on top. Yeah, it's one of those. And I drove past it, and I was like, I'm gonna ask if I can just get those plums. No one's collecting them. And I did this a few years back, and they were like, yeah, take a bunch. However, leave us some because we also like plums. It's been a few years, and I haven't come back, and I kind of drove past, and I'm like, it's kind of weird, knocking on the door and asking for plums. I was like, I don't know. My wife is like, yo, like go ask him, because like I want to have this plum jam. So here I am, knocking on the door, and I can tell someone's home because the cars are there and the windows open on top on their second floor, and no one's answering the door. I'm like, man, I'm like this weird guy asking if I can have some plums off their tree. Like, how often does that happen? Someone knock on your door and ask for your plums or your fruits or whatever. So I walked away, and I tried again the next day. Drove past it actually the next day, same kind of scenario. I looked at, there was one car, and window was open. I was like, I'm not even going to try this. Well, the third time that I passed this house, I was like, wait, that door is open. The door is open. The screen door is closed. 2 cars there. I'm like, this is my chance. I'm going to get these plums. So I stopped by. I asked if I can get plums. I let her know I'm one of her neighbors here around. And she's like, yeah, go ahead. Go for it. Grab as much as you want. I don't know if you follow the price of plums, but it's like $5, $6 a pound. I kid you not. I collected like these, those 5-gallon buckets worth of plums. Yeah, I got a couple of those. Got a whole bag full of plums. And, she was fine with it. She let me have it. She just told me to leave a few off the other side of the tree because, they have someone else who comes by or something. Maybe the other guy who comes by maybe she was thinking about me from the previous years. Anyways, I got all these plums. My wife's happy. My mother-in-law is happy. And we have plum jam. Like now I have plum jam. I'll show you some videos of this plum jam like in this video edit because you got to look at these things. Like it's amazing. Anyways, you might be saying, where is this even going with all this plums and jam talk? How does it have to do with anything that you're going to relate to the Bible? Well, sometimes it's relatable to the Bible. Sometimes it's not. In this case, it is. Now I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to read a passage from the Bible. But before I do, I want to just let you know that maybe you are not a Christ follower. Maybe you have not accepted Jesus into your heart. This will still be relevant to your life. So don't stop watching here because I mentioned the Bible. If you're here and you're not a believer, I hope that this still helps you grow as a man or as a woman, or if you're, a teenager or a youth person, this will help you. Now, let me read this passage, Matthew 7:7. The topic is ask and it will be given. So It says, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be open to you. Pretty simple, right? Knock, it'll be open. Ask, it'll be given. Seek, you shall find. But how many of us are really doing that? How many of us are actually doing any one of those three things? Now, as men, we have a problem in this area. We really have a problem in this area. We don't like to ask. We don't like to ask for directions. We don't like to ask for help when we need it most. We don't like to, it makes us look weak. Like, I can't ask another man for help. And then so we'll go on and do it ourselves and we'll get hurt. We get hurt. We do it worse. It gets harder. As men, we need to learn how to ask. We need to learn how to ask for help or how to help others. Because as men, we also don't know sometimes when to ask. Let's be honest real quick. How many of us men, you men watching this, have asked your lady to help her? Like, honestly, just come up to her and say, hey, how can I help you today? Or what can I do for you today? Now, we do it in business all the time. I mean, I'm a real estate agent, so hi, how can I help you? How can I help you find your, we ask questions for business. Why aren't we asking it for your wife, for your kids, for those who are in need? Like everywhere outside of work, we don't ask or seek. So that's an area, that's an area we're going to talk about here today. I just want us to be honest there for a quick second on how often we really ask those who we value most for help and or help them. So, most of us are struggling in any one of those aspects. Now, if you're not a married man, you're like, oh, this doesn't relate to me. It still relates to you. If you're not a married man, you should still be asking and doing and seeking and, helping, but you're probably not. Most of the time, let's be honest. I mean, I'm looking at myself. I have problems in this area too. I mean, I strive to be growing in each of these areas in my life. However, this is something every man, I believe, needs to really focus on more today. And especially because there's so many distractions. Let's dive into it and talk for a minute. So most men, and you probably know this, maybe you're one of the ones who's watching this, your motivations are wrong. You're not motivated on the right things. You're distracted. You're not asking or seeking or looking for the right things. You're looking for things that please you, things that feel good, things that make you feel good or stroke your ego. But you're not seeking the things that are going to help you grow. You're not seeking the things that will inspire others or grow into a better version of you. You're just stuck there in your self-pity and you're saying, hey, well, eventually success will come to me. Well, nothing will come of anything if you are not doing something. This passage talks about seeking, knocking, and it'll be given to you. I think a lot of us have become a little lazy. Yeah, I guess we'll use the word lazy. Like I know some guys I've talked to and I've said, they're like, I'm looking for a new job. Great. What are you doing to get that new job? Well, when the right time comes. Well, the right time will never come because the right time will never come if you're not doing anything to get to the right time. You got to be doing something. You got to be looking for things, growing with people. Like any business is the same way. You put less time into it, you're going to get less results. You put more time into something, you're going to get more results. It is the same thing in our spiritual life. If you are seeking the right things and you are knocking and looking for those things, you will find them. Later on in this passage, it talks about God giving those things to us. Let me kind of scroll down here for a second. This is Matthew chapter 7. A tree and its fruit, the golden rule, walking the narrow gate, right? Ask and it will be given to you is what we just read. Yeah. I never knew you. Like hearing those words from God would be the most terrifying thing ever. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but the one who does, he will enter of my Father who is in heaven. But the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. On the day, many will say to me, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name and cast out demons in your name and do mighty works in your name? And then I would declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you workers of lawlessness. Like, we really need to start seeking the right things in our life. There's so many distractions. Maybe you're distracted with just yourself. You're so full of yourself that you're like, you know what, I'm going to become this big macho man who's like the most good-looking guy ever. So you're drinking all these extra shakes and things you don't need that you're putting into your body. You're not really eating a healthy lifestyle. You might look like you're healthy and cut and fit, but really half of it is drugs. Or maybe you're so full of yourself that all you do is you're worried about that car you buy and you're trying to show off to others in front of it, or whatever it is. Like, whatever it is, there's so many distractions today. Maybe it's pornography. Maybe you're looking to, there's so many different things. Maybe you're actually addicted to something else. Maybe you're addicted to some kind of gambling issue. Now, this could be as easy as cryptocurrency and trading and losing thousands. I know someone like that. Lost thousands and thousands of dollars, got carried away, and almost lost his business. I mean, that's what happens when we are seeking the wrong things, when we are not looking to do the right things in our life and get distracted with all these distractions that, taunt us every day. Now, there is another issue. Another issue is we give up too soon. So, for example, simple example as me knocking for those plums. They mean nothing, but they mean something for my family, so that means they mean something to me. So if I just knocked once and I didn't get an answer, I would never have those plums. So knocking a second time, a third time, maybe she would have came out and said no. So what do? You find another tree, you find another plum, you find another, you go and you seek and you find. It's out there. The problem is 100% of the time, the problem is always us. We give up too soon. And in this culture of soft emotion, people being, oh, you hurt my feelings, of a culture, people give up too soon. People don't go after the things that they care for. Now, that's why marriages end. That's why the divorce rate is through the roof. That's why relationships end so fast. That's why people aren't committed, don't want to start a marriage. They just want to date, and then they want to just have a relationship because at any given time it's easy to get out and quit because they don't not seeking the thing that is pleasing their partner. They're looking for things that are seeking them, only pleasing themselves. This passage goes so much deeper than just, oh, go look for things and you'll find it. Because to truly seek, to truly look for something, you have to give forth effort. And not just the effort you put into just passing average. Like, you have to go for the over average, overachiever, like the A++, like you want it that bad. Now, when you want something really bad, you fight for it. You will do anything to get it. But what happens after that? A lot of times we become lazy. So I just want to encourage you guys with this passage, with just today's topic, seek. First of all, seek the right things that will get you somewhere in life and not get you stuck into depression, stuck into an unfulfilling life where you are just feeling like there's no point in life and suicidal. The suicide rate is through the roof. Why? Because look at what the society is teaching us. Look at what the society is showing what joy and pleasure is. It's all false. It's seeking the wrong things. If we seek God first, I guarantee you we would be a stronger nation. 100%. But America is falling like right in front of our eyes because the leadership, the state I live in Washington, is corrupt. Most states are corrupt these days. I don't know if I don't know how, we don't have a corruption scale, but Democrat-led cities are a lot more corrupt than Republican. I'm not saying that the best people are Republicans. What I'm saying is the left agenda of these liberals is to destroy the next generation with the mindset that they are infiltrating them with all this false ideology, with these dumb, I don't know how much I can say. I guess I can say anything, but with all this trans agenda, with all this, you can be whoever you want to be, just go enjoy yourself. Here's a participation trophy. Like, what? When are we going to wake up and actually look in the mirror and say, you know what, I'm going to change. I'm going to seek the right things. I want to encourage you to seek the right things, to go after it, go get it, and you will be successful. Now, it doesn't mean that you'll be rich or wealthy. Maybe you will be. Maybe you are already. but seeking the right things will get you to a good place in your life where you are satisfied, especially if you are seeking the things that are from above, that are given to us in the scriptures. And if you are not a person of faith, I encourage you to just at least read the Bible. Just try reading the book. Read through it. You may find yourself in a very different understanding of where maybe you've come from because of where you come from or because of how you were raised. So hope this inspires you. And do me a favor, subscribe, share a video if you found this helpful with a friend or someone that you think this might be helpful for. Until next time, Yarrow here.